Thank you very much for staying with us here on News File. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on the Joy News channel on Multi-TV. So Samson sent in his take, and I'll share with you because I agree with what he's written. And Multimedia secures judicial blessings for Ghanaian media. That's how he titled it. Now, the right of journalists to carry out their work under safe conditions without fear of being harassed, attacked, beaten, or killed is a topic of paramount importance for freedom of the press and freedom of expression. Now, many journalists have risked their futures and have been beaten, harassed, imprisoned, and too many have even made the ultimate sacrifice of their lives in the pursuit of telling a story, exposing the truth, and acknowledging the right to be heard. Too many nations around the world know that. Like democracy, freedom of media and freedom of speech do not come naturally and cannot be taken for granted. They must be constantly justified, reaffirmed, and strengthened even. This is an observation by the Council of Europe's Commissioner for Human Rights in October 2011. Between then, the now sub-regional media think tank Media Foundation for West Africa has captured dozens of such violations in Ghana. Now, many, including security officials, have abused journalists and gone scot-free. Read the online version of this article for a chronicle of unjustified attacks suffered by journalists in Ghana. Now, the situation becomes scarier when President John Mahama ignores a petition to discipline his aide, Stan Dogbe, for manhandling a GBC journalist, destroying his recorder, and won't even say, "I am sorry." Now, the courts of law become our only refuge. So when NHIA officials beat up or supervise such and injure Ifiapokwa, I'm sure you heard that story, and the reporters for simply interviewing subscribers who are dissatisfied with the service. And when Mayor Kovandapoy calls police on Solomon Jojo Kobina and his cameraman, and they manage to arrest and detain his driver for filming the suffering of a poor community flattened by the AMA, they sought refuge in the courts. Samson took only a token fee and fought these two cases personally and fervently. Now, thanks to managers of the Multimedia Group, owners of Joy, Adom, FM, etc., and thanks to the courts, the outcomes will benefit all journalists and the media in general. The perpetrators, however, including the NHIA and the IGP, have been ordered to pay small amounts of compensation and pay for an apology in the Daily Graphic for the unlawful and unconstitutional acts. But these are significant judicial affirmations of media freedoms and clear abhorrence of abuse of journalists, championed by a single media entity. The Court of Appeals Justice Angelina Dumatre held in the Ifiapokwa case that you have an obligation to protect a journalist who comes onto your premises and also to protect that journalist from being attacked by third parties. The court stressed that journalists have the right to resort to not straightforward means to obtain information if they are being denied access to information which is in the public interest. Now, Justice Anthony Yeboah gave the media and journalists a lot more in the Jojo Kobina case. He also set clear boundaries for the police in doing their work of arresting persons suspected of committing a crime. The test, according to the court, is that there must be legal or objectively reasonable justification for the suspicion that someone is committing an offense or attempting to do so. I invite the Media Commission, the GJA, GIBA, and all stakeholders to take this crusade further. Remember, these rights must, quote, be constantly justified, reaffirmed, and strengthened. The abusers of journalists who abound in our country must be told of the consequences of their actions. So must the journalists be reassured and emboldened to do more on the back of these judicial blessings of responsible journalism and punishment for the shameless abusers of journalists. Now, that's Samson's take. I agree with that, and so I share that with you.